Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Charlottesville on this beautiful spring day. My name is Peggy Ruth. I will be your celebration assistant this morning, and I am here with our senior minister, the wise and witty Reverend Don Lansky, and our multi-talented music director, Blair Jones, and her fabulous team of musicians and praise singers. And as our custom, we like to open each Sunday morning with songs. So Blair, take it away.
And all of our songs today are congregational, and we want you to sing along with us on every single one. We love to hear your voices blending with ours.
And they're all Daniel Nahmod songs, who is coming this Friday night.
Yeah. Woo-hoo!
Is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace is all that you are. Blessed peace is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy. Deepest joy is all that you are. Is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Charlottesville. The place should be vibed up. We had a Tibetan Buddhist master all day yesterday chanting his brains out. So the place is I hope, is buzzing this morning. And welcome to Unity. So Unity welcomes people of all faiths, all religions, all cultures, all sexual orientation, and all gender identity. And I want to welcome everybody online as well. And it is our tradition to begin with prayer. So I want to invite us to close our eyes. And just to become centered for a moment from all the busyness of the outer world, all the busyness of our week, of our morning. We just take a little time out. And that time out is to know who we are and whose we are, to know our connection to the God of our understanding, to each other, to this spiritual community, to our world, which is in so much turmoil. So we envision peace this morning, peace in our own lives, guidance for whatever challenges we might be facing, healing for any physical conditions that we might be experiencing, healing for ourselves and for our loved ones. And peace. Peace within, peace without. We envision a world at peace, a ceasefire in Gaza and Sudan and Ukraine. We're talking this morning about beholding the Christ within. We would envision a world in which people, brothers and sisters, can look at each other and bow to the divinity within each and every person. And so we say thank you, God, in advance. Amen.
Let's close this time of prayer by affirming together our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent.
Before we do our welcome song, I want to invite us. We're talking about the Christ within this morning. I'd like to invite you to. It's really a challenge. You don't have to do this, but it's a challenge. Go up and greet someone that you don't know. Say hello. And as you're doing that, just acknowledge, we want to acknowledge personal space. We know that we still have in a sort of a post-pandemic world. So just be honoring of the space. But it's a challenge. Go and meet someone that you've never met before.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
I know everybody. Good morning.
We can pretend like we don't know.
Hey, I know you. Yeah. Come up before the song ends, okay? All right. Morning. Good morning. Hello.
I'm in the right place
Okay.
at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robin Shirley. I see some new faces, so I'll introduce myself. I'm the director of the Youth and Family Ministry here at Unity of Charlottesville. Hi, everyone. So today we are following our theme of the month, which is the spiritual power of strength, and we are going to find spiritual strength in the garden. So if you are here for youth class today, you can join us to plant some seedlings, and we have a guest teacher with us today, Meredith Dykstra, and she's going to be helping out with our youth program in the future. And I also wanted to let you guys know 2 announcements. Next week, Meredith will be back teaching a healthy eating nutrition class with the elementary age, and we're going to possibly do a smoothie demonstration. And yeah, getting ready for summer, fruits and veggies. So I will also be with age class next Sunday then, while Meredith is with the elementary age. And if you are a yoga instructor, I would love to talk with you about potentially starting some yoga classes for the youth program. So you can find me downstairs after service if you want to talk about that.
Could you talk about this also?
Yes, on Mother's Day. Please join us in celebrating Mother's Day here at Unity. We're inviting, if you're a mother, we're inviting you to invite your children to come for service and celebrate you, and we're also inviting you to invite your mothers. So if you have a mother, invite her and we will celebrate her. If your mother or your children are no longer with us, you can bring a photo and we'll put it on our altar and celebrate them as well. So we'll send out a link with a little invitation, so it's easy for you to just text message or email that invitation to your family members to invite them for that Mother's Day celebration.
Great. Thank you, Robin.
I forgot to say, it's time for the youth to meet me in the back of the
Hold
room.
that.
We can bless the children.
Yeah, let's bless the children. We didn't do that before they go. Together.
Together.
Children, Uniteens, warriors, teachers, and parents, you are loved, special, and important. Thank you. Yes, come on, come. Yeah, if you're making an announcement, come up front so we don't have to watch you come all the way down.
Thank you. So before I talk about our meditation walk today, I want to give a big shout out. I imagine a lot of you noticed the beautiful revamped entry gardens out in front, and we have to thank for that 3 of our congregants, Peggy Ruth, Katie Zamito, and Maggie Thompson. They took that project on themselves. Thank you very much. And then after service today, we are going to have our spring event out in the garden. It's going to be a labyrinth walk. So please, after service, go downstairs to hospitality, just like you always do. And then around 12:30, come out onto the patio. The doors will be open, and we will have a labyrinth walk. Look forward to seeing you.
Kirtan is on Thursday, May 2nd. It's from 6 to 7:30 here in the sanctuary.
Yep.
So check it out online and be here.
And the way that you can get Daniel name on tickets is you can go onto our Unity website, unitycharlottesville.org, and go to events, and you can purchase tickets there, or you can just come and pay at the door. It's going to be a fabulous concert. He is really on the top echelon of musicians that are on the Unity circuit, Jan and JD and Daniel and Karen Drucker. There are a few names that really are superstars in the Unity movement, so we're really fortunate to have him here. Do you want to say something about Daniel, too?
Well, I just encourage you to come because it will be an unforgettable experience. He is an amazing songwriter, but he's also an amazing performer. Really, vocally, one of the most, just an incredible vocal range and talent, and plays guitar, plays keyboards. He's a phenomenon. You should come. And you should buy your tickets in advance, because then that shows us that everybody's coming and makes us feel really good. And pass the word on and bring a friend.
And no one is turned away, so whatever you can afford to pay is fine. But the suggested love offering is $20. You guys?
Hello. So Tony and I are up here one last time for this event. Saturday, May 4th. We had a lot of enthusiasm at the HUG meeting last week and a lot of promised shovels and gloves and whatever you call those things that I'm lead of, actually. Power washers, thank you. Yeah, well, anyway. Point being, we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's not too late to sign up or just show up. I'm here to speak a moment about the potluck piece of it, which is always popular, 12:30 to 2-ish. But if you're going to bring something, please sign up and let us know what you're bringing. And if you can help, I think I'll be leading the group in the kitchen, but I'd love to have some help. So just put a note next to your name on the sign up that you're willing to help in the kitchen. That would be huge. And do you want to say anything? Well, there you go. Okay.
Thanks.
The next Spiritual Cinema is coming up on May 5th. Busy weekend, so be here for the workday on Saturday the 4th, and then come on Sunday, stay after church on Sunday the 5th for Awake in the Dream.
And there's information about this film also on our website.
And the Men's Fellowship group is ongoing. They're talking about compassionate environment, a source for peace, love, kindness, and you can talk with Bob for more information about that. And of course, Ginger Collier's work study class is ongoing, Guidance for the Awakening Humans. That's the second Saturday of each month. It's on Zoom, so May 11th. And the email address for Ginger is right there. If you have any questions, just reach out to her.
And the Swami from South Africa has been canceled. That event has been canceled. So I think we've refunded everybody's money who signed up for it, but just want to let everybody know that. And then on May 12th, Sunday, right after church as well, at 1 o'clock, we have the executive director of the Rumi Forum. That's an interfaith group in Washington, D.C. He's a Muslim. And we also have someone from the Jewish Renewal Organization here in Charlottesville. We're showing a movie, Sevat Mitzvah, which is about a Muslim family who saved a Jewish family, and then 50 years later, the Jewish family saved the Muslim family, the same Muslim family. So we're going to have a discussion. It's a short film, about 20 minutes, and then there'll be discussion. And I'm sure Israel-Gaza will come up. So it should be an interesting discussion. And then the next week after that, May 19th, Reverend Marge Brown will be here. She's doing a workshop called Women Rising. She let me know that men can come too if they want to know the secrets of divine feminine. Men can come. So it's really open to everybody. But she'll be talking about health. She'll be talking about the impact of social media on women throughout the ages. And so I'm sure it'll be quite interesting. Whoops. And then June 8th, we're partnering with Hospice of the Piedmont to do a presentation on navigating grief, a healing journey. And the speakers are Reverend Patricia and Jeff Barkley, and also we'll have some speakers from Hospice. So I believe it'll be, are we having death doulas coming? Is that what it is? So there'll be some death doulas from, everybody know what a death doula is? Yes. Yeah? So, oh, good. So only 2 hands went up. So a death doula is someone who helps people die in the transition process of dying. So I'm sure it'll be a really engaging and a very interactive workshop on June 8th from 8:30 to 8:30 to 1. Okay. Is that me too? You want to talk about that?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be up here and be able to say that we've been able to, when I say we, I'm saying several musicians and guest singers and so on and so forth, the sound person. It's very challenging to reschedule events like this, and we have a date, as John's mentioned a few times, June 16th, right after the service. A light lunch will be before that. And of course, most of you know what I'm talking about. This is my living memoir, in which I share stories from my life and songs that connect those stories. The songs are beloved songs from my life as well, from a very young age. So, love to have you.
And the proceeds are to pay down our mortgage, to reduce our mortgage. So it's a fundraising event.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janice.
Our art program is ongoing. We have so many talented artists in this congregation. It just overwhelms me. So come to Fellowship Hall, see what we have. And Jane Shasky is the one that has coordinated this over the past year plus. If you are an artist and are interested in participating in this, please see Jane. Yeah. Wednesday, it's sort of like our mini service in the middle of the week, our healing half hour. We have a group of very dedicated Unity members who come together to pray for requests that we have received, and we've seen wonderful results from this. So join us or send in a prayer if you have a request. 6:30 to 7. And
Mission statement.
now it's,
Mission statement.
okay, there it is. Let's affirm together our mission statement. Unity of Charlottesville empowers everyone to express their unique divinity, making a positive difference in the world.
And again, we want you to sing with your whole heart.
You are every mountain, God you are every ocean, God you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky, God you are every morning, God you are every midnight, God you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise, God, you are every moon glow, God, you are every starshine, every inch of earth and sky, God, you are every springtime, God, you are every snowfall, God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe, and your perfect love created me. Everything I am, everything I do, everything I am everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
That was Jim Paulson on solo. So a minister buys a lawnmower from an old farmer at a yard sale, and he gets it home, and it just doesn't start. It won't start. So he's pretty upset. He goes back to the farmer at the yard sale, and he says, "This thing doesn't work." And the old farmer says, "Well, when you're pulling the cord, you have to swear at it." And the guy says, I'm a minister. I'm a man of the cloth. I've forgotten how to swear." And the farmer says, "Well, just keep pulling on that thing, and it'll come back to you." All right. Well, today I wanted to talk about the expression, the Christ within. What does it mean, the Christ within? We bandy it about, And there are a lot of words that seemingly say the same thing. So we say Christ within, we say divine within, we say God within, we say the kingdom of God within, the kingdom of heaven within, Buddha nature within, all of that. The operative word there is within. That God or the divine is not just something out there, out somewhere, that it's at the very center of our being. It's a living and an active presence. Now, does that feel spooky? To know that you have an active living presence inside of you, like we're possessed or something, right? And if it's within me, where do I find it? Is it my heart? Is it my lungs, my liver, my pancreas? If you cut me open, will you find it? And of course, we're talking about something that's not physical, but something that's metaphysical, right? Beyond the physical, spirit. So in John 4:24, we read that God is spirit, and those who worship God must worship in spirit and truth. So one of my very favorite Unity authors is Eric Butterworth, and in the prologue to his book, Discover the Power Within You, Eric tells a story that there was once a time when all human beings were gods, but they so abused their divinity that Brahma, the chief god, decided to take it away from them. But where? So Brahma called a council of the gods to help him decide. "Let's bury it deep down in the earth," said the gods. But Brahma answered, "No, that will not do, because humans will dig into the earth and they'll find it." And then the gods said, "Well, let's sink it into the deepest ocean." But Brahma said, no, not there, for they will dive into the ocean and they will find it. And then the gods said, well, let's take it to the top of the highest mountain and hide it there. But once again, Brahma replied, no, that won't do either, because they'll climb the highest mountain, every mountain, and they'll find it. And so the gods gave up and they said, we do not know where to hide it, because it seems that there is no place in existence that humans will not eventually reach. So Brahma thought for a very long time, and then he said, well, here's what we'll do. We'll hide their identity, their divinity, deep in the center of their own being. They'll never think to look at it there. And so all the gods agreed this was the perfect hiding place. The deed was done. And since that time, humans have been going up and down the earth, digging and diving and climbing and exploring, searching for something that is already within themselves. Isn't that a great story? So we start off in this spiritual journey, this spiritual awakening, with a certain degree of earnest and maybe immature innocence, immaturity. Maybe some of us have a spiritual awakening because of some event or some trauma. Many of us start off with seminar hopping, right? Have you done that? Workshop hopping, guru hopping, reading all sorts of books, trying this and that, seeking answers that are all outside of ourselves. What will fix me? What will make me better? And somewhere along the line, I find that most folks who come to Unity have began somewhere to develop a sense of that what they're looking for is inside, that it's been inside all the time. And Jesus delivered that message. That was one of his main points. He delivered that message. He said it repeatedly in the New Testament, but the disciples and the followers didn't seem to get it. And thousands of years later, Christians don't seem to get it either. Many Christians don't. So Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who are Unity's co-founders, and also other New Thought pioneers, Ernest Holmes and others, thought enough about this idea of the indwelling Christ that it got embodied into our core teachings as the second principle, the second unity principle, that every human being has the spark of divinity within them, which we call the Christ within. And it's a part of what Aldous Huxley, the author, wrote. He wrote an essay in 1944 about the perennial philosophy. And this is what he said in the perennial philosophy. He said that there is a Godhead. There were 5 points to it. That there is a Godhead or ground which is the unmanifest principle of all manifestation. That this ground is transcendent and immanent, that within us and without us. That it's possible for human beings to love and to know and to become the ground. To achieve the unity of knowledge, to realize the supreme identity is the final end and purpose of human existence. And the fifth is that there is a law or dharma which must be obeyed, a Tao or a way which must be followed if humans are to achieve their final end. So we can love and know and become the divine because it's our essential nature. And I know this was one of the major awakenings in my own journey of spiritual discovery. It's as a typical college student with all of this angst and all that stuff, at some point I really did realize that the answer I was seeking was not out there. It was something inside. It's what led me to Transcendental Meditation. It's what led me to become a teacher of TM. It's what led me to visit my first Unity church. And I found that at Unity, the ideas and the teachings that they were talking about resonated with my own understandings about myself and my God and about the universe as well. So does the journey end there, or does it end here, And of course not. Of course not. Aldous Huxley said, realizing our supreme identity of is the final end and purpose of human existence. And if we follow the laws of the universe, we're sure to achieve our final end. It may not be in this lifetime, according to the Fillmores and billions of other people around the world, it could be the next lifetime. But we're sure to find it. So, the journey of a spiritual truth student is always ongoing. It's always about further discovery and further uncovering all what we have beneath all of our schmutz that we've been gathering all throughout life, right? Schmutz is my grandmother's word, it's official. So I want to look more deeply into the concept of the Christ within. What is the Christ within? Well, Charles Fillmore defined the Christ as God's perfect idea of men and women. God's perfect idea of what it means to be human. He said that the Christ is the mind of God individualized in us as our true self, our true God self. So it's not in the material realm, it's something that's rather a state of being, rather a state of consciousness. And if we're created in the image and in the likeness of God, then each one of us must be endowed with the perfect pattern of wholeness within us. And that's what we mean when we say the Christ within, the perfect pattern of wholeness that is within us inherently as a gift of God. And God, by God, I mean whatever God is to you, however you define God. So I want to read to you what I think may be one of the most wildly radical statements in all the Gospels. It's from Philippians 2:5, where Paul says, "Let the same mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not regard equality with God as something to be exploited." So in other words, Paul is saying, put on the mind of Christ. You can do that, he said. You can put on the mind of Christ, the same mind of Christ that Jesus had. It's already in you. It already is you. Christ in you, your hope of glory. He said that later on. Christ in you, your hope of glory. And as I've said many times in Unity, or we've said many times in Unity, that Jesus then becomes not the great exception, but the great example of what is possible and what's possible for us directly. The God realization, or the Christed realization that he attained, we can also attain, because each one of us already has this potential for the development and the experience of the Christ consciousness. So remember, there's a story in Mark chapter 4, verse 35, about how Jesus and the disciples were crossing the sea in a small boat. Remember that story? And a storm comes up, and the wind and the waves are thrashing and crashing, and water's coming into the boat, and the disciples are petrified. And all of this time, Jesus is sound asleep. And so one of the disciples goes to wake him up, hoping that Jesus will save them from this terrible storm at what seems like certain death. Now, did you ever wonder what Jesus looked like when he woke up? Yeah. Do you suppose he was groggy? Do you suppose he had dog breath? Do you suppose his hair was all disheveled and all that stuff? I don't know what you look like in the morning. Thank God. But Patricia can tell you, I am not a pretty sight. I am not a pretty sight. And one morning we woke up, and I had this strand of hair that was sticking straight up. And Patricia said to me, "What happened?" And I said, "During the night, I extend tendrils of hair into space to extract nutrients." She didn't buy that. Anyway, Jesus wakes up. He goes to the side of the boat, and he simply says, "Peace, be still." And everything calms down. Now imagine having that kind of power and clarity when you've just woken up from a deep sleep. And what Jesus was demonstrating here was the heart of the Christed consciousness, a calm presence in the midst of the storm. Someone who's in contact with the center, someone who does not know fear, someone who does not know separation from divinity, from the Spirit of God. And he speaks the word so powerfully that even nature can't help but respond. So here's what the New Thought teacher and author Emmett Fox said about this passage. He said, "Christ is asleep in each one of us until we become aware that God is not far off. When the storms arise, it's time for us to awaken God within, Christ within. Then the Christ whispers, 'Peace, be still.' When we awaken the Christ within, we have turned to God, the peace that passes all understanding." So Christ is not a person. It's not the same thing as Jesus the man. Christ is a degree of potential that dwells within every person. And Jesus discovered his own divinity, his own unique relationship with the infinite. And he discovered that through faith, he could open the doors to the inexhaustible mind of God. He became consciously one with the absolute principle of being. And so when Jesus says, "Follow me," according to Unity teachings and New Thought teachings, when Jesus says, "Follow me," he's not saying, "Follow me, the man Jesus." He's saying, follow a way of being. Follow the way of putting on the mind of Christ. The same mind that I put on, that you also can put on. All the things I do, you can do, and even greater things can you do. So Ed Rabel was one of my favorite instructors at Unity Village. I had the privilege of being with Ed. He was a Unity minister, a longtime Unity minister, and he taught the prerequisite classes for application to ministry. And then once we got into ministry, he also taught seminary classes as well. He was an incredible metaphysician. He was one of the last of his generation to have personally met and known Charles Fillmore. And he had a deep and abiding respect for Mr. Fillmore. And this is what Ed Rabel says about Jesus. He says, there was, in the person of Jesus, two distinct regions. There was the fleshly mortal part, which was Jesus, the Son of Man. Then there was the central living real part that was Spirit, the Son of God and the Christ, the Anointed. And he said, so each one of us has these two regions. One, the fleshly mortal part, which is always feeling its weakness and insufficiency in all things, always saying, I can't. And then, at the very center of our being, there's something which, in our highest moments, knows itself more than conqueror over all things. It always says, I can and I will. It is the Christ child, the Son of God, the anointed in us, within us. Now, if we get fixated on all of this within stuff, we're kind of missing the point, I think, of Jesus' full teaching. And the full teaching also includes the fifth principle in unity, the core teaching of unity, that it's not enough to know the truth. We also have to practice the truth. We have to show the truth in activity. We have to apply the truth as we know it. And this means practicing not only that the Christ is within us, but the Christ is also within others as well. And this is expressed in a beautiful word that you all know, the word namaste. And the word namaste has many different meanings and translations, depending on who you read and whose translation you believe. But it's so interesting to listen to the translations. You know, it means I bow to the divine within you, or I honor the divine within you, or the God in me greets the God in you, or the Spirit in me meets the same Spirit in you, or the perfection in my heart honors the perfection in you, or I honor that place in you where the whole universe dwells. I honor the place in you in which the whole universe resides. I honor that place in you in which you love, I honor the place in you which is love, light, truth, and peace. And when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. I bow to that which is within you that is ineffable and indescribable. So they're all different ways, really, of saying the same thing, right? Beautiful ways of saying the same thing. In Vedanta, the divine within is called pure consciousness or transcendental consciousness or Atman or self with a capital S, Satchidananda. In Sufism, it's called the hidden essence. In Buddhism, Buddha nature or ground luminosity or clear light. In the Hebrew Bible, I am. In Christianity, the Christ or the Christ consciousness. And so when we say, I behold the Christ in you, or I bow to the divine within you, we acknowledge the true essence of life, beyond outer appearance, beyond the relative, that area which is eternal, immortal, unchanging, infinite, the field of all possibilities, the quantum field, source energy, whatever name you choose to give that which really has no name, which can't be described. Now that sounds easy, doesn't it? Bowing to the divine within you. Do you remember the last time that you failed to honor the divine perfection in another human being? Was it this morning? Ram Dass actually has a remedy for that. Treat everyone you meet as if you are in drag, right? As if they're God in drag, right? Treat everyone you meet as if they are God in drag. And Mother Teresa sort of echoed the sentiment. She said, What the world needs is not more Christians, but more Christs. So that's kind of what we're after, isn't it? We're after developing that familiarity and that intimacy with the infinite, the same infant connection that Jesus had, putting on the mind of Christ. So I want to end with a story that you may have heard before. The story is from Scott Peck. And it's about a monastery that had fallen on hard times. That it was part of an order which many of the branches had closed, many of the monasteries had closed due to religious persecution. And there were only 5 monks left, and they were elderly. Each one was over 70 years old. That's not elderly in my book, but that's what they say. The Scott Peck story says clearly that was a dying order. We don't accept that. Deep in the woods surrounding the monastery was a little hut that the rabbi from the nearby town occasionally used for a hermitage, and the rabbi and the abbot were good friends. One day it occurred to the abbot to visit the hermitage to see if the rabbi could give him some advice that might help his monastery. And so the rabbi welcomed the abbot, and they commiserated together. I know how hard it is, the rabbi said. The spirit has gone out of the people. Almost no one comes to the synagogue anymore. And so the old rabbi and the abbot wept together. And they spoke quietly about deep things. And the time came when the abbot had to leave, and they embraced, and the abbot said, "It's been wonderful being with you, but I think I've failed in my purpose for coming. Have you no advice for me to take back to my monastery?" "No, I'm sorry," said the rabbi. "I have no advice to give. The only thing I can tell you is that one of you is the Messiah." So when the other monks learned about the rabbi's words, they wondered what possible significance that could have. The Messiah is one of us? Which one? One of us here at the monastery. Do you suppose he meant the abbot? Of course, it must be the abbot who's been our leader for so long. On the other hand, he might have meant Brother Thomas, who was undoubtedly a holy man. Certainly he could not have meant Brother Elrod, for he is so crotchety. But then, Elrod is also very wise. Surely he could not have meant Brother Philip. He's too passive. But then magically, he's always there when you need him. Of course, he didn't mean me, yet supposing he did, oh Lord, not me. I couldn't mean that much to God. So they contemplated in this manner, and the old monks, as they were contemplating, began to treat each other with extraordinary respect. They didn't know who the Messiah was, but they knew it was one of them. And on the off chance that each monk himself might be the Messiah, they began to treat themselves with extraordinary respect as well. Now, because the forest in which the monastery was situated was beautiful, people occasionally came to visit the monastery to picnic or to look at the old paths and walk the old paths, most of which led to a dilapidated chapel. They sensed the aura of extraordinary respect that surrounded the 5 old monks and that was permeating the atmosphere. And they began to come more frequently, and they began bringing their friends, and their friends brought their friends. And some of the younger men who came to visit to engage started to engage in the conversation with monks, and after a while one asked if he might join, and then another, and then another, and then another. And within a few years, the monastery once again became a thriving order, and thanks to the rabbi's gift, a vibrant community of light and love. So my question to you this morning is, what if one of you is the Messiah? Let's prepare for meditation. Yeah.
Is it me, Lord? Is it me?
If I can heal one heart, if I can dry one tear, if I can hold one hand, make just one doubt disappear. If I can change one life, that's what I came to do. 'Cause I know that I am living love. Yes, I am living love. If I can heal one heart, if I can dry one tear, if I can hold one hand, make just one doubt disappear. If I can change one life, that's what I came to do. 'Cause I know that I am living love. Yes, I am living love. Try as I might to find some earthly treasure to achieve, something to put my troubled mind at ease, can't let it be. Every time I find salvation is a love in me, the more I give the world, the more that I receive. If I can heal one heart, if I can dry one tear, if I can hold one hand, make just one doubt disappear. If I can change one life, that's what I came to do. 'Cause I know that I am living love. Yes, I am living love. If I can heal one heart, if I can dry one tear, if I can hold one hand, make just one doubt disappear. If I can change one life, that's what I came to do. 'Cause I know that I am living love. Yes, I am living love. Yes, I am living love.
So what if before we can behold the Christ within ourselves, we first have to, or in others, what if we want to behold the Christ in others, we first have to behold the Christ within ourselves. We first have to behold the Christ within. So I want to invite us in this meditation to consider these affirmations, which are variations of Namaste. I bow to the divine within me. I bow to the divine within me. I honor the divine within me. I honor the divine within me. And sometimes when we say those words, there's a little part of us, a little voice, that really has trouble accepting that. And in this meditation, I invite you just to say thank you for sharing. Just to allow that voice to be there, not judging, criticizing. The God in me greets the God in others. The Spirit in me meets the same Spirit in others. I honor that place in myself where the whole universe resides. I honor the place within myself which is love, light, and peace. I know that when another person is in that place within themselves, and I am in that place within me, that we are one. I bow to that which is I bow to that which is within me that is indefinable, ineffable, indescribable. I honor the Christ within me. Let's take a few moments of silence. I bow to the divine within you. I honor the divine within you. The God in me greets the God in you. The Spirit in me greets the Spirit in you. The perfection in my heart honors the perfection in your heart. I honor the place in which all is love and light and truth and peace, that place within you and within me. And when you are in that place and I am in that place, we are one. So the invitation is to put on the mind of Christ today as we leave here this afternoon and as we move about our day and as we move about our week. To remember the essence of who we are. And to see that same essence in another. Amen. Let's take a few minutes to come out slowly and just return back to this space.
Don, thank you. What a profound message and meditation. We've got homework this week. All I can say to you is namaste.
Namaste.
And to all of you, namaste.
Namaste.
This is the time in the service when we have the opportunity to give back to Unity of Charlottesville. Our tithes, our gifts, our offering. While you're gathering that together, I'd like to expand for just a quick moment on something that Tony shared with us last week. Kevin and I are co-chairs of the Legacy team, and Tony told you last week about her choice to make Unity of Charlottesville a forever part of her life by revising her will and including a bequeath from her estate to Unity of Charlottesville. So many people have done this. The tree out in the narthex has leaves that show all of the various people that have done this. And this is a wonderful time of the year in the spring when we think about who we are, what our purpose is on this earth plane, to consider if Unity of Charlottesville is our spiritual home, how can we continue to give back to this spiritual center, not only today, but forever. So if you have a question about how to do that, feel free to speak to Kevin, to myself, or to Reverend Don. So many things on this campus happened because someone made that conscious choice to bequeath a gift to this church. So now let's take our tithes and our offering. If you are not present, there are many ways you can give. You can go online and go through Tithely, and you can use your phone to give through Tithely here in church. The number's on the screen in front of you. You can do it the old-fashioned way and write a check and mail it into the office, whatever is convenient for you. We gratefully accept and receive all of your gifts. So now let's bless our offerings. Together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
So we want to just bless our tithes and offerings. Know they go to do the goodwill of this and the good work of this ministry. Thank you, God. Thank you for all the donors and for the generosity of the spiritual community. Amen. So we do have some, well, that's you, I guess.
Our pastoral care team is here. Should you have a need, you can call the church office. You can go online and make that request, and we have people here within the congregation that can reach out and help you with that.
And part of that pastoral care is our healing helpers who are back here in the corner. They'll pray with you in a group. And Buddy is here if you have some individual prayers that you just like to get off your chest and just have some affirmation and some support with. And next week we'll be talking about recognizing the voice of inspired insight. I want to thank everybody who's helped out. This is Libby's second Sunday up here in the sound booth. Thank you so much, Libby. And Bob has been supporting and mentoring, and Stephen is up there as well. And we have Ellen's blessing team with Denise and Frank, and thank you so much. And who else? We have, of course, Blair and our wonderful music team. Round of applause for Blair. Thank you guys all. And thank you, Peggy, for helping out this morning. A reminder that right after this, the service, when does your event start? At 1 o'clock? 12:30. Okay, 12:30 is meditation in the garden, and so we'll see you outside and down there. All right. So let's stand and do our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and wherever God is, all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Simple practice today. Just go out and treat everybody as if they're God and drag.
Do sacred love. Sacred love. Go to the chorus.